E vorba de formatul 200 de secunde de faimă, 200 seconds of fame. Foarte repede vor avea de prezentat în doar 200 de secunde câte un business tineri antreprenori care au nevoie de susținerea dumneavoastră, așa că vă rog să-i susțineți pe Ricardo Mendez. Aplaudați, că nu... Mulțumesc! George Pruteanu, Marius Iatan, Cristi Carp și Radu Oprea. Vă rog pe scenă. Haideți să dăm drumul. Ricardo, you're first, so remember, 200 seconds only. When the countdown is over, you gotta stop, so convince us. So, start.
No problem. Okay, there we are. Hi everyone, I'm Ricardo Mendez, my Romanian would be a mess, so I'm just going to do this in English. I'm basically a game developer. I own a small game development studio, and we are doing both our own games for mobile and PC, as well as building a technology platform that is behind them. I'm originally from Costa Rica, you know, that tiny speck up there in the center, and you've probably heard of the image of the country, you know, white sandy beaches, coffee, volcanoes, the whole thing. And this image is so prevalent that we even put it in our money. And actually was more interested in this than anything else, specifically money flow. So I did a lot of contracting for about 10 years, building data analysis systems for banks, financial institutions, even sports books and medical data companies to help them analyze their customers, their cash flow, helping them find if there was a relationship between two or more players, between several customers, or for instance, what the likelihood giving a player was of a loan going south. After a few years of doing this, I started moving into game development, founded Arhes Games. We did contracting as well initially, and then ended up building our own game called Harry Tales, which we released last year and received a great critical reception, but we noticed that players were getting stuck in some stages. So, of course, since we have this data analysis background, we turned to game analytics, and we found that there's quite a few game analytics tools out there, but they all share a common issue, which is that they descend from a relatively ancient perspective of page views and page events and clicks. And as far as a game goes, the problem is that this thing here, this is data, this is not information. On top of that, we also believe that these game analytics tools treat game sessions as something dead that needs to have an autopsy performed on, not as something alive that needs to be evaluated. So we're combining this with an impression that we have that in the next few years, games are going to be significantly more personalized than now. And that the idea of games that behave exactly the same for all players is going to be as quaint as it is right now to hand them out in floppy disks. So what we are building is a platform that will allow us to combine analysis of game sessions with simplifying the creation of data-driven games, where we can alter the game, how the game acts just for a fraction of the player base to maximize the retention without having to alter the game for all your players. And since this can't be done in a vacuum, we're continuing to build our own IPs and games around this. And the first one where we plan to test it on is a game called Shark Rider, which we expect will release in a couple of months, because to us nothing says progress as a deranged Viking riding a shark. Now, I believe that's all we have time for, so thanks, gracias, and mulțumesc.
Mulțumim și felicitări. Hai să vedem cine e următorul. Prezentarea.
Thanks.
Formatul își propune să aducă în fața voastră oameni care au idei, care fac chestii interesante. Nu e neapărat nevoie să fie un începător în ale business-ului, poate să fie și o companie medie care pornește un proiect nou. Următorul proiect, start.
Every second, each time you blink, over $47 million is being traded on the global FX markets. Now, that sounds like a lot of money. Just add up second by second, and you get $4 trillion, even more than that, traded each and every day. Now, about a third of that is owed to the private investors, people like you and me investing around 50, 60,000 euros. Problem is, those people are doing awfully in the markets. They're losing about $900 million each and every month. So I think I can speak for everybody in this whole, a hemorrhage of over almost $1 billion is a problem we should talk about. The problem is, the question actually is, how do we stop these people from losing money, especially due to the fact that more and more people want to be investors? And our answer to this question is called Traderian, the premier financial social game anchored in interbank trading. What you basically get is an authentic political and economic universe with a huge, massive social dimension and with a real-life trader's feel. Basically, through the user-generated content, you get the chance to build your own financial empire, pretty much Gordon Gekko style, even though that's a cliche. Now, the issue here is, how do we do it? Competition-wise, we're facing FX brokerages and business and economic simulators. Now, that's not much because we can pretty much leave all that crap behind when we bring the market making as a new feature, which basically means you design the entire market, don't just accept some prices. And at the same time, you get the entire view of the economy. You don't just get some sectors or stuff like that. So that can be amazing, and it can be an amazing competition tool. Business-wise, you can see all those products that we have added there. What I want you to remember is the fact that we have built an entire platform upon which we can build more and more and more, which means we have an amazing growth potential, and it's greatly scalable. The authenticity is very important, and we're very proud of it because, as most of us know, CVs are pretty much dead. So we're actually dreaming of having JP Morgan come to us and say, I really want new traders and I want them good. Sales and marketing, we're talking about huge social media integration. I believe my 4 speakers have said a lot about it. So that's pretty much a closed subject. And of course, I want you to remember the fact that we're going on a global scale. Whatever North America, Singapore, you can see all that over there. We're really global by nature. The financial forecast, that's just numbers, basically 4.5 million revenues in year 5 and some profits of 2.6 million again in year 5. This is the worst case scenario. This is the one we have to take in account. The co-founders, Florin Jaka, he's actually our CEO. This guy traded over 130 billion in his career. So he's helping us a lot with the development of the game in itself. And the rest of the team, Alex Kazako, our CDO, former international Olympic, and the rest of them. We launched the alpha, in which we basically took the entire game, turned it into a barrel, filled it up with water, and plugged all the holes. The beta is on the way, due in September, and we're actually looking right now for the first round of financing of 500,000 euros. And in the worst possible case scenario, we're expecting 5,000 users in year 1.
The time is up. Thank you. Următoarea prezentare? Hai că suntem în întârziere. Cu scuzele de rigoare, pentru că toată lumea s-a trezit mai târziu, a început puțin mai târziu, suntem cu o ușoară întârziere, iar următoarea sesiune va începe după o pauză destul de scurtă în aceeași sală, iar Deezer va începe următoarea sesiune. Prin urmare, rămâne aceeași sesiune care era anunțată la ora 11, doar că e o oră mai târziu, plus Deezer. Mulțumim pentru înțelegere. 3, 2, 1, start!
Hello, I'm Radu, and together with Dragos and Ovi, we built BeFlower, our iOS app that sends flowers on Facebook. Girls, do you like flowers? You see, sometimes giving flowers can go terribly wrong. Let's have a look. See how difficult it is? Sometimes you need to be a superhero to give flowers. But in our fast-paced, fast food, fast love world, we created BeFlower. In our IP application, it's very easy to choose flowers by their looks, by the occasion you need them for, or by their meanings. You then arrange them in a bouquet, and as you do this, the flowers naturally bend, rotate, and grow leaves just like their real ones. When you're ready, you select the lucky one, the occasion, the meanings, and then you add the personal message. All you have to do then is tap send. The result? Sophie knows you're thinking about her, and so do all her friends, who are now green with envy. And of course they are, because with all these beautiful flowers, Sophie is now the most loved among them. Everything happens in a game-like scenario. The more flowers you receive, the more loved you are. And the more flowers you send, the more amazing you are. And when you are the most loved or the most amazing among your friends, you get rewarded. For the example, with the possibility to send special flowers. Today is a very big day for us, because we are launching BeFlower in public beta. That means that if you have an iOS device and you want to send flowers before anybody else, we ask you to join beflower.me/beta, and we will give you some special rewards. And if beta testing is not your cup of tea, we still invite you to join beflower.me, and we let you know as soon as you can download the app for free from the App Store. This will be the first ever publicly sent bouquet of flowers. We specially arranged it for the first lady who likes our Facebook page, starting in 10, 9, let's count together, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So let's see the last presentation in this slot of 200 seconds of fame.
We are Render Street, and we help people deliver awesome images like this to the big and to the small screen. Our life is now surrounded by digital generated effects. We see them in commercials, even if sometimes we don't know they're there. We see them in movies, and we'll soon see them in our living room through the advancement of 3D technology. But how are they created? How can you convince a giant robot to play a part in your movie? Let me show you very quickly. It all starts with a sketch made by a graphics artist, usually on paper. Then the sketch is converted to a 3D model by a 3D professional, and this is on a computer. And the final stage is called rendering, and it converts the 3D model into the pretty image you see on the screen. Now, the catch is that into all this process, the final stage rendering takes up a lot of computing power. And to give you an idea, this is an example from the Transformers movie, with which I think you're all familiar. If you were to render just 1 second of the movie on your computer, it would take you 3 years. And no, that's not a mistake. They did it in just 3 days using a high-capacity render farm. That's all very nice, and works if you are a movie studio with an unlimited budget. But what if you are a professional working in one of these fields and need to render your work without waiting forever for it? Well, the obvious solution is you go to an online available render farm. And this is what we do. We help people render their images fast. And of course, all these images have been rendered on our farm, and then there are the movies. And I want to dedicate this movie that you're going to see, which was also rendered on our farm, to all those great creators, to the digital ninjas that work their magic to bring us this great content. So if you are a digital ninja and need your work rendered fast, get in touch. We can help. Thank you.